Mic check, how's things going? Squeezing one more stream before the new year. New Year's Eve, baby. What's up, Dragoon? How you doing? Trying to drink a coffee, that's what I'm doing. Little rough, I've been staying up too late at night, need to knock that off. What's up, everyone? My name is Brent Lee and welcome to Wicked Minis. How is everyone doing on this Sunday? Last day of the year. Working on this Deathleaper. Got pretty much all the block fills on this miniature. Now we're gonna do midtones, highlights, all that good stuff. Down to a wash and then working on the base. Relatively easy stuff. Getting easier. Gonna open up my shop. Up my shop. Ugh. Come on. Gotta drink the coffee while it's still warm, right? Alright. Let's see. I think what I want to do for midtones is what we were working with last time was the burgundy last stream. Oh, we need to get this laid down. This in my palette. And we're going to sit here and use some pale pink. Mix into the burgundy. A little addicted on the coffee here. Okay. Let's go into a smaller brush. Out of number 1. Take a little bit of that burgundy. Pale pink. Actually, we should probably do a lot of pale pink and a lot of off to the side here. Because we actually got quite a bit of stuff to do on this. But it definitely, for your midtone, needs to be brighter than this, darker than this. That's your highlight. Almost all the way to your edge highlight. Edge highlights, that's like your edge highlight. This is your base, this is your midtone, and then you'll probably make some more of this, probably with some, when we get that far, probably some ivory, bright ivory, put it into this mix. Right now, I just want this color. Make sure I have enough, so I'm not constantly keep on mixing colors to get what I want. Go ahead and start working on some of the harder areas. Clean up the brush. Doing a lot of mixing, it gets all the way up into the ferrules of the brush, so all of that. Start nice and close enough. Do we need to go closer? Closer there. I'm gonna finish my coffee before it gets cold. Guys, it's still 10 o'clock here where I'm at. Still morning. Getting kind of towards the later morning. And I was printing some pretty cool stuff. I just didn't realize how much cool stuff I had. I've been to do a bunch of stuff, and I need to switch myself out of Patreon to War Tribes on my mini factory, because even when you do stuff through Patreon, it just goes to my mini factory anyways. Switch over to War Tribes over on my mini factory. That direction, so I'm not redeeming so much stuff through Patreon inbox things that go to factory. So much easier on redeeming 150 inbox email thingies. It'll just, I think like the hardest part on this miniature will be doing the infernal after we get the internal part of this. I don't know. It's like kind of like this webbing kind of acts like a cape. Here in it. I have to be kind of really focused here because I got a lot of stuff inside here that I don't want to get a lot of paint on. Poppy. that I got. Kind of some lining work. Give some like kind of texture feel to this. A little bit easier to reach on one direction. Doesn't have to be fully covered. I'm gonna give kind of a little bit of that it's like a membrane. Texturing is not bad, just kind of giving some line work in there. Doesn't have to be completely covered. guys, you kind of did. Already New Year's supper, nice. Yeah, celebrating the New Year's. That's too late for me, so normally don't celebrate New Year's too much. I don't normally stay up until midnight and stuff. Turn into a pumpkin. So, and I'm not quite sure if working or not tomorrow. I don't think I'd be working. Never know. Never know. Oh, did you? Did you actually get it? Or so you picked up the Witcher Old World board game? How is it? Have you opened it and dug in there? I have like so many questions about that thing. The game's good, so you actually played it too? How are the models? Not deluxe, so only got minis for Witcher, not mon. Okay. Now I can play it on the tabletop simulator. Oh, really? Okay. That's interesting. How are the models though? Like how's Witcher and models are good? Are they resin or PVC? Plastic? Nice resin, very similar to D&D minis. Okay. All right, sweet. And then how is the gameplay? Have you actually played a game of it yet? Or just getting through the rules or whatnot? Because I'm like kind of really intrigued into that. I like to have it, just to have it, because I don't know if I'll be able to get it later down the road. Kind of like Descent. Like I got the second part of Descent, like the Legends of the Dark, but I don't have the first box, and I know they released the third box. Yeah, I played a game. It was slow to start, but once we got it going, it was okay. Was it fun? Like, was it enjoyable? Is it like having like D&D sessions? That was kind of like you said. Yeah, like you said, very similar. Does it have similar gameplay, kind of like D&D? I know there's like cards and stuff, so there's got to be like stats on them. I imagine it's kind of somewhat like that. Comfortable with it, it can do their turn few minutes, and while a player is doing turn, wrap up the next can be turn start. Oh, you enjoyed it? Okay, that's awesome. Because I was kind of intrigued by that game too. I sat there and I was like looking at it and I was like, I just didn't want it to be like ending up like what's that other video game that became a board game? Like Dark something. I did not like that, so kind of hesitant about buying board games based off of video game. I know that Witcher is a novel series game, so I thought maybe based on that and not very good and not very well developed. Because I think that Witcher board game, wasn't that a Kickstarter? Started as a Kickstarter or something. Chat is slow. Not very many people on. Excuse me, my goodness. Yeah, not very many people on right now, and it can be just because it is the New Year's Eve, so I know a lot of people celebrate it and everything. Didn't really think about that. But I really wanted to get some more stuff done on this Tyranid. Hopefully get this in the works. If I can get this like relatively finished, this stream would be excellent. So I have like a 2-streamer, and then when we work on next would be like the winged tyrant. The next one will be like the winged tyrant. Hey, what's up, Phoenix? How you doing? The next one will be Winged Tyrant, but I have 2 of them, so we're going to be kind of doing a 2-part sub painting job. So we're just kind of working an assembly line on them because I need to get 2 of them done. And since I only got 1 stream for YouTube Live, until I can kind of score up that 1,000 subs. Try to get a partnership with YouTube. And once that's accomplished, then from YouTube and Twitch, we can start doing comparisons. And I should have done the YouTube a long time ago. Still listened to Talent a long time ago and started doing YouTube. Did not really like the whole concept to keep constantly making videos because I'm not really good at editing and all that stuff, so I'm not the best at it. Even if I looked up a million YouTube videos, how-tos and all this other stuff, just not really good at it, and I just don't like spending that much time on something. And it doesn't really like reap that rewards that I like from it, where like Twitch is a lot easier. Reason why I went to Twitch. It's easy just to live stream. But YouTube and Twitch both don't have like real. At least Twitch does have an art category. But most of that is all digital art and stuff. They like YouTube doesn't have a paint category at all. I have to put mine in as entertainment. Hey, what's up, Rosie? How you doing? How you doing? Hopefully everyone's having a good New Year's Eve. I was doing the last stream of the year here, and it's right through YouTube, just squeezing everything I can. Like to get a lot more stuff done on this Deathleaper. Make sure I got paint on. The Ballistic Dread, nice. That is a really cool model. Definitely a lot easier to build than the Dreadnoughts. I just finished yesterday, and then I screwed it up. Well, not necessarily screwed it. Didn't do the proper magnetization, so I have to go back to my old school magnetization. But then on the other hand too, it kind of holds in there really well. Because I forgot the I forgot to magnetize the internal part of the plasma and the onslaught cannon. I forgot to magnetize the inside before I glued them all in, and then by the time I realized it, the glue already dried, and now I can't magnetize the inside. I was almost thinking of just drilling right through the side of the dread weapon, like so. Since like this is like a onslaught cannon, right? And how I normally magnetize them is I fill in this thing and then I put a magnet right there so it just snaps right onto the model. And then now watching everybody else's stuff, you know, they actually have the gear with the magnet inside, so they have up and down. I guess if that's a big deal to anybody. But I forgot to magnetize the inside of these pieces here before I glued them together. I wasn't thinking when I was putting them together because I was building 3 at a time. I had 3 dreadnoughts I had to put together, and I have it together, and before I realized, I was like, oh shoot, I need to get the magnets on the inside of these things on both sides. And then so when I put the piece in with the gear in there with the magnet in between, it'll snap on this thing really well, right? So now I have this with an open gap inside, and I'm wondering if I just, because this is the inside of the dreadnought, if I just drilled right through this piece here and then put the magnet on just this side, should hold it really well. And then taking green stuff and just kind of making a circular mold right there, I think it'd be okay. There's probably a little bit more extra work than what it needed to be. What I'll wear on the couch tonight for New Year's. That's funny. I'll be sleeping through New Year's. New Year's Eve. I can't stay up until midnight. When I do that, I just turn into a pumpkin and I'm a mess. I stayed up a little too late last night. I need to stop doing this to myself. Doing this to myself. Yeah, you did yours with the gear in. That's what I was going to do with the other ones, is that I have the gear. I already have them drilled out. I have the magnet in there, but I forgot to do the magnetization into the two halves before I glued them together. So now I got to put a magnet on one side. And once I do that, then that'll be all set. But I got the dreads all built. That was 3 of them. And it was really interesting because I got the, I have the gray tide bits and pieces for Black Templars and Dark Angels. Right? So I had that, so I printed out the dreads. And they're quite interesting for the dreads because, like, Liber Demonica, you do not put on any of the panels on the dread. On the Redemptor Dreadnought, you don't put the, those flat panels and the flat panels on the shoulders and then the shoulder pads. You just don't put those on. Liber Demonica bits replace those. And then so I was assembling them all without any of the panels because I thought that the Grey Tide upgrade bits for like the Dark Angels and Black Templars were replacing those panel pieces. Well, it turns out that they actually go over top of those panel pieces. So that was really interesting. So it actually makes the shoulder pads even bigger because they go over top of the shoulder pads. They glue straight onto the shoulder pad for the upgrade 3D bits. So I thought that was very interesting. And I started realizing when I'm printing my 3D printer is that I need to go up into the higher resolutions on the for a new printer for printing out stuff. I mean, it prints out good on a 4K screen. Like, it's still really good because I printed out stuff from Bisterium. So I printed out pretty nice stuff here. It's detailed pretty good. Like, the face and stuff looks pretty decent on there, but I definitely need to go up in the printer. Go up into like 6K, 8K, or some sorts of that. Like, it comes out good, but I think it can be printed out even better. So I need to go up into the waiting for sales and stuff and get better 3D printer. Oh, the Ballistus was a beast on the tabletop. I was shocked at that. Oh, how well it did. That's awesome. On nights, I put magnets and guns for my dreads. Oh yeah, for sure, especially for nights. Using styrene square tubing for kilocan weapon swaps. Did that work out really good using the tubings? But mine is from Leviathan. Yeah, well, there isn't any weapon exchanges on the Bastillarius just yet. I don't think they're individual models yet. So yeah, it just comes with those. The ones I was showing was just the Redemptor Dreadnought. That's a different dread. Yeah, there's no, not yet. I don't know. I don't think that the Bestilaris Dreadnought individual box yet. Don't think so. Could be. Looks like they're working on it. Yeah, and it is very small in the line layering when I'm printing and stuff. But to get even better details, it's just because of the screen. And I need to go up. So I need to go up into like a 6K, 8K. And I think I'll get like a way better print from a 6K, 8K. And the printers are getting so much better over the years now. And mine is getting older, but it works good in certain aspects, like making plinths. Plinths don't have to be super detailed, you know, and I think those would work really good for my 4K printer. Would work really good just making my cool little plinths that I make. I make all these little neat little plinths, and all you need is just a 4K. And you know, it got the layering in there, but it kind of looks like wood grain anyways. It has that kind of feature on there. Have the holes under there because they're hollow, so we're not using too much. This one here is going to be for the bust that we're going to be working on, but I have other plinths too, and I think that's what I want to do, is make a whole bunch of these plinths, and then they'll be started selling plinths. That are not wood plinths, because a lot of people don't want to pay a fortune for like bird wood friggin' burl wood plinths. It just makes things easy. I'll have a plinth that's black, and it's just meant for just kind of raising your figure competitively if you're doing competitions or whatnot. Just to raise it into a nice display model and stuff that sits on there. Nothing like super crazy, but it does give it a little nice little classic little look when you're showcasing them and stuff like that. But I don't think you need to spend a lot of money for plinths. That's why, and then like the only one that really sells like plinths and stuff is like Green Stuff World. I can kind of get everybody. And then here in the States, there's not very many places that are just making. I don't think anybody wants to just put plinths. And everything that I've seen out of like the Etsy stores and stuff are like really fancy plinths. I understand putting a fancy plinth, but that's not what you're trying to showcase. You're trying to showcase them on top. Got some fancy, cool burl wood plinth that's on the bottom. I feel like it's going to take away from your nice, beautiful putting on top of it. I think you just need kind of like just regular basic old. So people were like, cool, it's on a plinth. Well, let's see what's on it. Instead of like, wow, that's a really cool plinth. And kind of avoid the fact that there's a cool model on top. Azrael, I'll buy it off of you. Did Azrael come from that box set? This is Azrael? I think this is Azrael. The worst part, I think Talon bought the other one off of me. What's up, Antifreeze? How you doing? Double Tyranny in 2025. Get your Dark Angels painted for 2025. Sounds like a plan. I can plan on that. 2025. Plan for that. Yeah, a lot. That gives me plenty of time to plan something like that. Need to work on some cool models for Adepticon. Start working on the couple of models that I have kind of somewhat ready for it. Getting some models sliced up. Getting things ready to print. Yeah, I was printing some cool things too. Finally actually started printing out some Bisteria models. I gotta remember today to cancel all my Patreon stuff so they don't charge me on the 1st of the month. So I can get everything, and then tomorrow sign everything up on the tribes, my mini factory of the places that I've been doing through Patreon. I don't have to go through this redeeming process. It'll just be there in my tribes. Kind of redo stuff there. So it makes things it makes things easy that it goes through my mini factory. It goes through my mini factory anyways through Patreon. No reason going 2 places just for 1 place that it's gonna go to. Definitely gonna do that today. And tomorrow re-sign up for for the tribes. My mini. Little midtones there. Want to play double, so we'll just double up on the Dark Angel work. Normally, if you play doubles and stuff, it'd be good. Like you play Dark Angels, and then I play, I don't know, something else. Normally, it's like 1,000 points. So you're gonna build like an army of 1,000. Build an army of 1,000 myself. That's normally how like doubles work. So you'll have 1,000 of Dark Angels, and I have 1,000 of something else. We'll crash Adepticon with our coolness. Yeah, just start going in, just like, yeah. Let's see here. Malab. Now you also stream on YouTube? I do on Sundays. I've been trying to do this because I've been trying to get new videos up on YouTube, and I'm like, how can I just have consistent videos? Because I'm like not really good at editing and making videos. It takes a lot of time to make videos. Now I know why people like release videos like weekly, because it literally takes you like a whole week to make a video, cut, edit it, and make all this stuff happen. And I'm not really good at it, so I'm like, well, what can I do every week? And I'm like, well, I can live stream off of YouTube, and then it's on YouTube, and I always have a consistent amount of videos coming onto YouTube. I do all the Tyranids. I'm doing all the Tyranids through YouTube, and then on Twitch, I'm doing all the Space Marine stuff. So this is the Norn Emissary. We finished this thing up on, it was 5 parts though. It was 5 parts. That was a lot. I was like, I don't know, we did like 18 hours on this thing. But there's a lot that we had to do on there. There's a lot of things that were going on. I got that one, and then so now we're doing the Deathleaper here and getting things going for that. Not 100% sure. Yeah, if you want to play like Long War doubles, there's nothing wrong with playing Long War doubles. You can always sign up for Long War doubles. And Long War doubles are normally 1,000 points a piece, I think. Alright. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta go use the restroom, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Back. Alright. I had to give myself some water too. little ill prepared. I was kind of scrambling around today. I'm like, oh, I gotta get this stream going for YouTube. All right. Okay. All right. Now let's go into the highlights and all of this fleshiness. So let me go ahead and get a little bit of bright ivory as well. And I might not have like a super long stream today. It just depends on how far I want to go with this. And then after I'm done with this, I got to make Artle W opening, symboling Artle W, get this thing posted up. And then also, antifreeze, are you running, when you're doing your prints, are you on a 4K screen? Kind of curious. Now I'm putting a little bit more pale pink color that we already have. Kind of like this more than the bright ivory. That'll get it bright enough, like this bubblegum pink. Yeah, now we're going to do some highlights here. The highlighted areas, not edge highlights. Just a little highlighted. Internal part. This is the hardest batch. The inside of it. The line work pretty thin. Your Mars 4 Max is a 6K. See, that's the thing. Like, I think that the prints are so much better out of a 6K. Like, my 4K, like, I printed some Mysterium models. They look good, but, you know, I think they could be so much more. So I think maybe I gotta change up the fact of having printed miniatures. I need to go up. I need to go up a 6K to an 8K. One of those two, if one of these things go on sale. I like to kind of keep it with everything that I have so I don't bounce around so much with different kind of programs. But I have to just look for a pretty good price. And I mean, the 4K does okay, but I think that it can get so much more detail out of like a 6K or an 8K. Starts with an S. What's that? What's that stuff? I do the side. Now you got me. I use the Sciatec. Sciatec? Is that what it is? I want to say Sciatec. I think I got Sciatec and I got Sciatec Fast. No, not Sunlu. I tried Sunlu and I'm not getting good prints out of Sunlu. I can't do Sunlu. I tried Sunlu, but I was just having such a horrible time with Sunlu. I couldn't get Sunlu to work. Maybe because I don't have things at like a perfect temperature or something, but I was having a problem with Sunlu. I was doing Soraya Tech. Is that what is it called? Soraya Tech? Soraya? Something like that. I know it's like the ABS fast, and then I put 150 milliliters of the same brand resin of Tenacious. I put about 150 milliliters of Tenacious in there, so I have a flexibility. Like, I got great flexibility. I have pretty good, I mean, it comes out good. It has a good amount of flex on these things, so they don't break. I mean, they still will break, you know, they're resin. You know, there's still that possibility of breaking. But, just not detailed enough. I mean, it has some detail. I mean, we're going to paint this thing. But I just feel like it'll have more depth if I have like a 6K, 8K kind of. Because the guys came out, they looked okay. But I think it could come out so much better. But I only have a 4K screen though. And this is pretty good for 4K. Now I just need to get like a 6 or an 8K for printing actual models. And I think that they'll turn out looking a whole lot better. Yeah, Soraya Tech now sells a fast gray tough. It has the Tenacious in it. Oh, do they really? Okay. That sounds better right there, so I'm not custom mixing these things. Because I just get like the fast ABS like. Then I just put 150 milliliters of Tenacious in there. And that fills up like pretty much 5 of the fast acting ABS like fast acting. Or ABS like or whatever that thing is. Fast ABS. But yeah, if they have something that already has the mix in there, that seems way better. So what resin do you use? A little too much right there. Too much love there. Correct it a little bit. And now I'm using Vulcan. You're gonna use the new Soraya Tech stuff next. Yeah, so I'm just kind of looking, like right now, just what I have. I'm almost out of the stuff I have right now. So I will definitely probably grab one of the tough stuff from Soraya Tech. And yeah, well that works. And then I'll just sit there and just use my 4K printer just to print out my plinths. And then I'll just keep printing out more plinths and get things ready, because I have this kind of feeling that maybe my armies won't sell through Discord, and I don't really want to put them on eBay, so I might just open up an Etsy store. Something that I just need to be able to exit out models when I can. I kind of want to make sure that I have like 2 or 3 armies ready to rock and roll, and then have a whole bunch of plinths ready to rock and roll. Because I feel like that's really good for my 4K screen, and then printing actual models. I like to have like a 6 to 8K. And I'll finally go get a business license. You can see that the highlights actually go by a lot quicker. Doing a lot less line work. think this is the brightest I'm gonna go with the kind of membrane flesh that we got going on this Tyranid. I don't think it really necessarily needs. You can classify this as like your just your brighter areas. Not really anything that you need to really edge highlight on the thing. Just trying to just brighten it up so you have like a good dimension and it looks like crazy fleshy membrane. And like I said, we're like painting these things up of like tabletop standard with a plus ultra to it. That's what I like classifying these things. Because the tabletop standard is only like colors. And make sure that the base is based, and then you can play on a tabletop. And that's only if you're going in for like tournaments and stuff, like tournaments. But these ones I like to make them look really sexy when they go onto the tabletop. What I always say is that these are tabletop standard plus ultras. Hey, you're doing more so than just the three. Because technically what we had originally, that's your 3-color standard. All you had to do was just base it. So pretty much like how everything looks like this, you have your 3 colors, then you just base it, and then it's ready for the tabletop. And that's nicer than most tabletop standards I've seen. I've seen things that look like you just dipped them in a bucket of paint in 3 different colors and then base them and then technically you don't need an actual completed finished painted army to play at like game store whatnot, just so you can get your reps in. You get your reps in, start getting more comfortable play what you're playing, what you're doing. Doing casual gaming, I don't think it matters too much if your models are painted or not. Trying to get yourself kind of worked up. They're all painted and ready to roll. Going to any kind of tourneys, RTTs, or GTs. Yeah, it's like a plus ultra. Like, so I just say, like, you can get away with just having this color, and this color. That's your 3-color standard. Then you just base it, and then you're ready to rock and roll. You don't have to do midtones, highlights, edge highlights, anything just to get it onto the tabletop. This will be more than sufficient enough to have it. You don't even have to even do this, per se. You can just keep this all black. Just make sure that you have some like gravel or dirt or some sort of shake base that you have just on the base itself, so it's just not an open base. So this is old, but as long as you have something that's just on here that is classified as being based, ready to rock and roll with something that's just as easy standard, just block fill, paint by numbers, just the base coats, and then just base it, and then paint all this stuff black, and then that's good enough, right there. That's your 3-color standard. It looks good. It's playable. And when I say like a plus ultra, take a little My Hero Academia in there. Plus ultra is that I'm doing the midtones, the highlights, the edge highlights, get them good, get them ready to go. Pretty much like a battle ready. You can have this as actually battle ready also. That's technically your three colors. You got blue, you got this, you got the gold. That is base ready and ready to rock and roll. So that is your three color standard. All you have to do is just base this. So you just paint this all black, trim it if you like. Shake base it in the center there. Just shake a bunch of dirt right on top of there. Just glue it right on. And these guys are ready to go. You don't have, like, those are like, that's tabletop ready there. That's battle ready. Block filled everything that needed to be kind of block filled in there. And it's right before you go into your midtones and highlights. And that is it. That's how, and I've seen them even worse than that. That's still classified as, you know, your three colors, battle ready, and you're ready for tabletop. Tournament playing. Into that. I think technically this is probably the hardest part after you get all these little thingies all done. This internal soft spots on the Tyranids. Little downhill from here. Because these are so precise. You like all this little precise stuff that you try to hit all the parts that it hit and I do the brown bones next, because I think that's the other one that'll maybe take a little bit more time. Then we'll go into the purples. Get this Leviathan High Fleet style going on this thing. And get it all the way down to a wash. And pretty much done. After the wash, then we'll be working on the winged tyrants. I want to say that's what they're called, the winged tyrants. Next, so it'd be just one step closer of finishing up Tyranid army, which is very exciting because I like to have a Tyranid army up and going. After all these things are all done, I do sell my armies. I just have so much stuff, I just don't have time for commissions. I would love to be doing this constantly, full time. Social media influencer. YouTube influencer, Twitch influencer. I think that would be such a cool thing to do. But it also takes a lot of work and a lot of time. Unfortunately, I do work for a living. I love this as my hobby. I love this hobby so much that so much is going on over into the Midwest that I'm even considering moving to the Midwest. So I'm closer to this hobby and things are a little bit easier for me to do. Just to make my life a little easier when things are closer and I can reach it by just driving to them. And yeah, just that alone saves me so much more than sitting there and flying to everywhere that I need to go. Playing up the Tyranids and maybe even playing with them. Yeah, I think they're going to be really fun to play with too. They got a lot of cool things. Interesting buff, interesting way of strategy playing with these guys. Like you're actually like playing with these guys not to really remove your opponent. I mean, of course you're trying to fight and remove like units from your opponent. But the strategy really involves about like tying up units, your opponent's units, so they can't score objectives. And there's a lot of these guys that are forcing your opponent to do battle shock tests constantly doing battle shock. So you have to be like pretty hot-handed on the hot dice rolls to pass those tests. Tyranids have like a way less of a chance of failing battle shock tests because in Tyranids you can roll 3 dice instead of 2 dice for battle shock tests, so you have a better chance of passing your battle shock tests. Because you gotta say, like, your leadership's being at like 7, right, is higher than, so you're about like a 60% chance of failing your battle shock test, trying to just roll for leaderships of, look at that, just an instant fail right there. Just trying to roll a leadership of 7s, still fail. Look at that. Now I finally passed the leadership. That's 3 leadership. Your leaderships are like 7s. Failed. Passed. But on Tyranids, you get to roll 3 on your leaderships of like 7s. 5, 6, 7. Look at that. You got a better chance of rolling those. Passing these. There we go. Passed. Easy. Passed. Easy. You know, it's easier when you're passing battle shock tests. Easy. Got it. You know, for sure got them because you got a third dice, so you're not failing your battle shock tests at all with Tyranids. Oh, and that's just kind of, I think, one of their buffs that are in their codex when I was looking through there. I think it's just something that they come with. They have, like, so long as they're within synopsis range. And synopsis means that you can sit there and you can roll 3 dice instead of 2 dice. And there's other things that you can do within synopsis range also. But a lot of times it's about that. Synopsis range can help also with buffing your units by making your opponents do battle shock tests because it's so easy to fail your battle shock test. And then you lose your objective secures. So once you fail your battle shock test, you have no objective secures until you can pass a battle shock test. So a lot of your Tyranids is just strategizing around of trying to get your Tyranids on the objectives, keep your opponent battle shock so they can't, and even though that they can still shoot and remove your characters, as long as you have something there, you know, that's preventing them, even if they do remove it, they still have to pass a battle shock test just to claim the objective. So even if you lost your Tyranids on there, you still had objective secured on there, and they still can't take that away because they're failing battle shock test. And so on this Deathleaper, hits really hard. Has stealth. You can really move this guy, so it's really easy. Helps on the save rolls. It has synopsis range, I think, on this one. Been a while since I looked at the code. Could be probably been a little bit more prepared to read up on these guys. I'm gonna run this guy with all the what is it, the Von Ryan lictors. A lot of stippling action that we're doing with painting right now. Stippling is just that I'm kind of poking at this. Kind of gives it a little bit more texture, a little bit more depth. I'm trying to really cover up what I already painted. Kind of touching some highlighted areas here, so it just shows that there's more depth to it, giving it more realism. A little bit more realism. It looks so good when you do stuff like that. Just that realism just really pops out on these guys. Looks really, really, really good. Try to hit a little bit on the inside of this. I don't think it needed to be right, but there's a little. All right, that looks good. And unfortunately, guys, I got to pee again. I had 2 coffees. I was really tired. Now I'm like all kind of the caffeine's going through me. And it's the same thing. Too much caffeine, all of a sudden I gotta pee all the time. Alright, so I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Nice when the bathroom's like, 2 seconds away. 2 seconds away. Hope I don't have my little pop-out thing to read. Okay. Nice, cool little realism that we got on the little flesh part here. We're doing Leviathan. We're doing the Leviathan High Fleet scheme. Next one up, I want to get all these little spikes done. I think that's the next one I'll take. Just I don't think it'll take as long as you think it will. I think it'll go by a lot quicker. What we did was the base coat of that was dark golden brown from Pro Acryl, !Pro. If you guys want to give a shot on this paint, I love these paints from Monument Hobbies. I like their brushes as well. But a lot of these brushes, you see me with these brown brushes right here, these are actually from Foxbite, and they're fantastic brushes. I mean, I think I am 2 years strong on these brushes, and I don't take care of my brushes. Let everybody know I really abuse my brushes really badly. I should be cleaning them a lot more than I should be. So Fox, !Fox. And I get the sable brushes. Everybody has their feel about brushes. I always like my sable brushes over synthetic, just because of the moisture content. Because where I'm at, it's very dry, and paint evaporates extremely quickly here, so I like something that kind of holds moisture. So this kind of depends on where you're at and what you're trying to achieve for paint. It's kind of like where you're located. If you're like have a lot of humidity and stuff like that, I think synthetics works really well. Or if you have like a humidifier kind of going in your room or whatnot, have like humidity in the air, I think synthetics work really well. I had a humidifier going and I was playing around with some synthetics, and I figured, and I'm like, oh, the paint's not drying as fast or evaporating, or the water's not evaporating from my brush so quickly. Yeah. So, and then also like synthetics has a little bit more of a snap. So when you're painting and then you finish, and it kind of has like a little bit of a flick on the end of it. A lot of people like stiffer ones like that, and that's really good for like doing tracing highlights. And a lot of people like a stiffer brush, and synthetics gives you that. And sables don't really, they're more like a real lax, and then they don't really flick really hard. They're really soft flicks. They like barely open up. So it just kind of depends on the feel and what you guys are after looking at a brush. And it's all pretty much just mostly just experience of just painting with them and seeing what you like. It's all about that. And other people are about prices too. So, you know, and synthetics are definitely on the cheaper side than stable. And then Pro Acryl has some really good brushes too. I really like them. And still gotta reach out to something rose brushes. I wanna actually do a reach out to them. There's a couple companies I still want to kind of do reach outs to. If they want to do any kind of partnerships, affiliates, sponsors, I'm always down for stuff. That's now product. Are you gonna run a wash? Yes, there'll be a wash on this. We'll actually be doing a brown wash from Mr. Hobbies. I like doing my oil washes. They make them really quick, fast, easy. Gives me time. Not acrylic, so it's an actual oil wash. This is the Mr. Hobby Mr. Weather coloring. We'll be using the ground brown. It is darker than the stain brown, but be doing that, so we'll actually be toning this thing down to this color. That's what the color. They're gonna go from bright, that typical GW bright white, that brighter light beige color that I put on this, and it's gonna go into a darker beige. And I like it better than this bright white. I don't particularly care for the bright white. I like them a little bit darker. And again, it's just preference. All preference, whatever you want to do. They're your models. You can do what you want. Like them bright white like that bright beige that I did. Watch the part 1 on this thing. I went through the whole process of airbrushing these to the color I want. And on there, so you know what I'm using. Most of the stuff I've been using is from Pro Acryl. Pro. Spikes. Mid-tones. Edge highlight it with a really brighter ivory with the same color, but just start adding a lot of bright ivory to it. Now, when I'm doing like competitive pieces and stuff like that, I will not use any wash. The wash on it at all. Competitive, as it takes a lot more time and effort, and actually bringing up the dark areas and the brighter areas. So I won't do washes. Very limited on washes. Sometimes some pin washing, very little when I'm doing competitive pieces, because they're already there. So all your shadows, midtones, and highlights are already integrated from the paint job on there. It's a lot more hours when I'm doing that. They're in there, but when you're doing like 2,000 point armies, just to get them kind of really nice looking, I do lots of wash. Big plotted army. I'm doing 2,000 point armies and stuff. Washes are the best thing. But then also, again, if you're like the one and only army, want to make the best you can, and you want hours doing army bit and everything. I turn over too many pieces, too many models. These are like kind of the nice, easy, looks really good. Get them on the tabletop. It impresses. Normally, once I'm done with stuff like this, mass amounts, and I take them to RTT here where I live, or over in California, because I'm in Nevada, so the RTT's here. I'm not really good at playing the game because I just don't do my reps as but most of the time I can get away with freaking get away with having best painted army, doing it this way. won them multiple times just because done, they look great, have that plus ultra feel to it. And with the plus ultra feel, it's a really easy way of getting a S paint. And I've won them here, I've won them over in California, and lost terribly at the tournament itself, but the models look good going on, the models look great coming off. Good judgment. Didn't even really have much of a tile base for a display or anything. Just kind of just had a frontline gaming carry tray and an insert in there, and I just put the models on there, and then bam, got easy to do. Going this process if you want the best painted army direction. And it's just, when it comes to like competitive paint jobs, gotta step up my game. Not necessarily like more time spent, just getting the model to look what I want. Once I can bathe in that kind of victory there, then knowing that's what works, stick with it and try to improve. Till then, it's kind of, will they like this? Will they like that? New, didn't like it, scratch it. Let's do a different thing next time. I learned from my last one. Know what I needed of. Kind of learn that while you're at them. I see now. Work on that. Got some bases on plinths. Base is looking really hot and nice. Dante's gonna be the first one I'm gonna work on here pretty soon. I gotta build a whole nother Dante because I had a Dante completely built and it just crushed me when I crushed that thing underfoot. It fell on the floor. Didn't know it was on the floor and stepped on it. Broke good old Dante. I fixed him. He looks really good, but he's not good enough for painting comp because look really closely, which you do see the flaw in it. Oh, another Dante. Accidents happen all the time. Part of this hobby sometimes. Accidentally dropping stuff, trying to find parts. You try to glue it together and it falls on the ground, disappears into the warp. Or definitely an upsetting thing. But I build that one. Even all the way to building when you're doing Golden Demons, like building like seam lines, mold lines, everything. And I had that Dante looking really good. One thing about Tyranids, they got a lot of spiky everything. Everything. Gotta do, and I probably should do it now before I forget. A piece of his chest needs purple. Go ahead and do that because that'll be the next one that we're going to be working on for the. Is a brand new purple. I think I busted the seal off of this. So it has this thing. Make sure you keep it on there. A lot of times they sit right on top of here. Sealed bottles. And I think technically, these are the only paint company that I know of that have actually sealed tops. Like they actually seal them, so you could actually buy these things and hold them for quite a long time. And then that's how the new bottles are. They're in 22 milliliter. I still have old bottles of Pro Acryl that are in the 17 milliliter bottles, and now they're in the 22 milliliter bottles. That's how they come now, is this way. You can't get them in 17 anymore. You get them in 22s. I've had these things for years, and they're still good. Still good. Lay out a little bit of this purple. Why I'm doing that is that I came across an area that I should have painted on purple in it, right across his chest. That's kind of easily mislooked. It just kind of depends on what kind of accents you want. They have kind of that scaling kind of thing that's like right on his leg. There's a little bit of it like this on the chest. That's the rest of the body. Alright, now let's get back over into that. A brown with yellow ochre and bright ivory mix. really exciting because I start feeling like closer and closer to finishing up on this. Once I get the wash on it, it's all done. Once you see me put wash on, the model's complete. Granted that we didn't do the base. I feel like bases should be different. I kind of want to do this base for the Norm Emissary and just make that an actual video. But the absolute video I need to do is the Artle W. Do that opening. I've been talking about that for now. And I am going to do that after I'm done with this stream. All that cut and editing, adding things, all that. I think that'll probably be another sub channel in my channel. Would be views, openings, and reviews. Like my very first one. Because they sent me a bunch of cool models. Definitely drank too much coffee. A little bit of the Okay, next color. So I took the dark golden brown, yellow ochre, took a little bit of that bright ivory. That's how I made this color here. The next now is doing the highlight, or even the edge highlight. I'm going to take the ivory, I'm going to take a touch of this. It has like a slight hue. Still really bright, way brighter than this. About all I'm gonna need, and then we're just gonna sit here and just start cutting just really the tips of the claws. Start just work our way around now. The final up on the claws. or the little spikes or whatever. On my spikes and not lose track, because probably forget one or two of them when you're going through this process. Happen. foot just went to sleep. Oh. Now we got all the brown spikes. Like bone spikes. Alright, now we gotta go into the purples. Alright, now let's do the midtone of the purples next. And the greens will be really easy because I only got 3 of the 4 little spike tips of the greens. The greens will be good. The only reason I'm putting a little glow effect on the greens because I think that's where these are melee fighters. So I like to have some like green, like poisonous things. I feel like that's what they attack with. Main ones there. You could just make them all full bone spikes. But I feel like giving them a little bit of a green glow to that effect would be great. But let's get these purples. Next one, what we're going to do, I'm going to take this royal purple and then give it a little touch of the dark purple so we have kind of a good transition between dark purple and the royal purple. The royal purple has a really fine color to it, and then we'll edge highlight it all with a faded plum, which we'll get to that. I'm going to take royal purple, dark purple, makes a little bit in there. I need quite a bit of the royal purple, so we're going to kind of mix it where we have enough. Right here. Dark purple. Here. Want more of that royal purple than the dark purple. I'm actually truly giving it like a true purple color. Yep. I like that color. Pretty sure that's the color I used. Norm Emissary. I can't honestly remember. Happens when I take too long of breaks of stuff. These things kind of take a little bit of time because you want to try to hit all the highlighted areas. Top of like the mid-level areas, leave the deep recesses alone with the dark purple. At least we don't have that much purple like we did on the Norn Emissary, so this should go by a lot quicker than the last one. I think I had to do just 2 streams just for the purple on the Norn Emissary so much. worked on. Let's just go into royal purple. That's too much. Now, I want to make sure that I have a mid-tone and actually kind of tell the difference between. So maybe it'll just best straight out royal purple. Like I said, I can't remember exactly how I did the other one, unfortunately. I would have to look back on the Norm Emissary and what colors I used. I know it was these colors, I just don't know exactly how hard I went, so I went straight royal purple. Tell the difference between your mid-tone. That's the thing that you can show that you have a mid-tone in there. Know where you're. No worries, Talon. How you doing? Worries. New Year's Eve, so I figured that everybody has a lot of stuff going on, especially if you guys celebrate New Year's Eve or New Year's. Yeah, only 20 something celebrate New Year's. Yeah, most adults don't care. Nah, I'm so useless staying up till midnight. So it's so bad. Like my late night streams on Twitch, they're like pushing that in. I am honestly getting like extremely exhausted. I'm just so addicted to streaming. I just love doing it. Even here on YouTube Live, I'm just like, oh, this is another day for me to get more stuff painted. Really like, definitely, and of getting more work done. The weather is so warm here. Warm as in 200 years. Small community. Not like going downtown. It's all fan stuff and not far from my. Well, that's not bad. Guys had 54-degree weather for Christmas. Yeah, my Christmas was in the 40s. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. But like me, I just cannot stay up until like when I'm up at midnight. It's just such a rough day the next functioning. Because I'm like such a I like waking up relatively early. I stay up to midnight. Like when I wake up at like 8, after going to like midnight and waking up 8, I just feel exhausted. It's like 8 hours of sleep. But then I feel like my whole morning's gone. Like I feel like I get so much more accomplished when I'm like up and getting things started at like I am just ready. 8 p.m. here because it's dark so early, right? Oh, that's nice. If they started there, like here, they do all like the downtown stuff and all that stuff, and it's like literally midnight is when they like launch. If not a little later after midnight, like 12:30 is when they start the fireworks, and I'm like, nip, 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 nip. But yeah, if they did something like 8 o'clock shooting fireworks, I'd be like, okay, I'm kind of down for that. Here, it's just like midnight shooting it off. I'm like, ugh, I'm going to bed. I can watch freaking fireworks during 4th of July. Uh, oh, okay. It's just cool that you like little communities already doing it. So that's just kind of nice. Little neighborhood community. Hey, kind of like family community. Hey, we're gonna light fireworks out so the kids can enjoy it. And if you're a super partier and young enough to want to go do that stuff, then you go downtown and party that way. This one here is just like the kids can see the fireworks. That's nice. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, because it's not like deep freezing cold over where you're at right now. Like, not yet. People are thinking that the ice is frozen on the lakes and rivers or whatever that you guys have over there and it's breaking. I know like ice skating's like a big deal up there. Hockey. Like it's like thick enough to almost think that it's ready to ice skate on. But then it's thin where you fall through and you can't get out if you fall and drift underneath. Oh, that's terrible. That's really that is awful. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like it's like thick enough they don't realize that it's not thick enough, like not frozen deep enough to be on there. But it's so nice out where you're like, man, it's gonna be a nice day to go ice fishing. But not really knowing that the lakes and the rivers and stuff are not fully iced up thick enough for you to drive on or walk on. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, you guys are barely even, you're not even close to freezing temperatures. Like you're 37, you're close. When 32 degrees hits, that's when you're free at freezing levels. And 37 is just above freezing levels. Wow, that's crazy. Like a super warm start of the winter. I haven't had like super cold temps yet. It's supposed to get pretty cold today. Guys, it's only 38 degrees right now. See, all our degrees are going into low 20s tonight, but we're still hanging out in the mid 40s. Still hanging out into the mid 40s. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's horrible. Yeah, it was negative 31. Last year was horrid. It was a bad winter. It was terrible. It was snowing all the time, frozen, non-stop. Ugh. This one's like my normal winter that I have here. It's super cold, not really a whole lot of moisture. Snow doesn't normally come until like hitting up on top of the mountains, but not really down in the valleys. It's actually a little unusual that we haven't had like any snow. We've been having like rains. Nothing like. Oh, got mid-tones. Now we're gonna do a couple things. So we're gonna go like a secondary mid-tone on here, just because it doesn't give a huge defining look on there, and then we're gonna do an edge highlight. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to go back through all this again. Here's like -2 degrees Celsius, so that's 30. What is that? 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Should be around minus 15. Yeah, you guys should be right at the well below freezing. Okay. Oh. Next up, now we're gonna take this faded plum. This again. Kind of a bummer because we have to pick up the colors on it. But I'm only going to go about halfway around. So it's just a highlight, not an edge highlight, just a highlight. Kind of making some of these flat surfaces a little bit brighter right on the edges here of the scales. Go by a little bit quicker. Because they're like really thick. Not like edging, not technically edging the hard 90-degree angles that are on the wall. Just kind of really giving a define of darks and brights. You got 20 gaunts built and you got 60 left to go. That's a lot. That is a lot. That is a lot of gaunts. Regardless if it's termagants, hormagants, is a lot of gaunts. They're massive, just like, because I have 40 termagants built. And like that 11 or 12 of the neurogons. They're relatively easy. I know that the Termagants was kind of a beat down just because you have to do so much scraping. The mold lines or the seam lines come together on the Tyranids ain't the best. Seal those. Had to do the sprue goo. A lot of sprue. Because I just did the 40, so it's all set up for this 2,000 point army here. And I got the 20 Hormagons and then the 40 Termagons. That's 60 of them. But even still, they're much easier to build than the new orcs. The Beast Naga boys. I built 50 of those things. And I'm like, oh my word, that was way too many pieces. Not for something that shouldn't be that difficult and piece worth. Like, they could have probably cut down the pieces by a few. Yeah, that was a literal beat down on the orcs. And then I built 12 of the Wig Hog Riders, and that was too many. I was like, it took me like 3 days to do 12, and I was putting in a lot of hours because I had to do so much filling in all the seams. Because I mean, just the little squig body riders. I mean, there were I think they were 3 pieces. I thought they'd be like 2 halves to go together. Nope, there were 3. They were small too. They weren't like big pieces. You had like one big piece. They had like one leg. Sometimes they didn't actually. The bigger dude had the one leg on there. The other leg was not. Smaller ones had 3 pieces, and you had to put legs on. I was sitting there. I was like, oh my goodness. Way too many. Way too many pieces. But the new orcs looks awesome. Way too many. It was terrible. Agable. I haven't been having a whole lot of fun. This is not having much fun putting together the Like, actually, the Tyranids are a little easier than... Rippers. So you're doing 3 rippers on a base instead of the 4. So you can have so you can stretch them out, have a little bit more. Yeah, that's a good idea. Those ripper swarms are really good to have. You know, you can deep strike those things. You can have objective secure. Kind of nice is to drop those right where the objective markers are. And I think when you deep strike them, anything in a, I think they have like a buff ore or something like that, and anything that's relatively within range of them have to take a battle shock test. Real interesting way of playing Tyranids. More kind of sneaky Tyranids. You're just kind of trying to sneak them across the board without them getting shot and killed. Taken off the table. All right. Now it's up to par, and you can kind of tell the difference on that purple right there. Okay, now we're gonna go into edge highlighting. But before I do edge highlighting, I got again. Coffee just going right through. They're just like, nope, gotta pee again. Or 2 jars of 200 milliliter European thick mud this morning. The heck is that? This call and said they had no stock. One for the display board. What's European thick mud? Oh, gotcha. So you got just kind of, I don't know, just pay some out on the base. Anyways, I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna. Alright, I'm back. Okay. Holy smokes. Alright, just edge highlighting, and then we're pretty much down to just doing the green. Then we do the wash, and then it's done. I mean, granted, we gotta do the base, but the model itself will be done. Oops, my bad. What was I doing? Yes. Or 2 jars of 200 milliliter. I just don't know what this European thick mud. What's that from? AK Interactive? Vallejo? I don't know. Who makes that? I'm just gonna go straight faded plum. We're gonna start doing our edge highlight. Edge highlights. Best highlights. On screen. I need to zoom in a little bit more so I can keep it in the camera. It's from Vallejo? Oh, okay. Once you put the edge highlights in, that's when things start popping. Nice detail. Gives it true shape. Excuse me. And is from Imperium magazines. At some point, I acquired another 20. Oh, I forgot the ones that are in the Imperium magazine. I still have those things still in the boxes. I've not even opened those. Out of eBay, I realize there are precise horde list in the making. Yeah, man, you can make a really big horde list of them. And then after getting that, made to order McCrag box, Battle of McCrag, give me some of the older Gene Stealer Colts, which would be nice because I have a Brood Lord that can definitely buff them. And it'll be even more Termagants. Which I don't know if it's 10 Termagants or 20 Termagants. I can't remember how much is in that Battle of McCrag box, the old box. I didn't pay attention. Maybe there's only 10 Termagants, but I want to say there was 10 Gene Stealers. So it could have been 20 Termagants. Yeah, older Termagants. Which then, if there is 20 of the older Termagants, I would put the 20 in my of the older ones in the Space Marine box and take the brand new 20, put them in there. But then all my Termagants are relatively the same. Working it all the way. And I got Gene Stealers in that Imperium premium box. I gotta go and dig that thing up. Look at that. I didn't even pay. I forgot all about the premium boxes from the Imperium magazine. And I think there's orcs. I gotta open those things up and get the orcs out, I guess. That'll put me well over 2,000 points of orcs for the second arm. I forgot I have orcs in that thing. I don't even know what I have in there. I can't even remember. Maybe they're like there's some boys and knobs or something. I don't know if there's anything else that's in it. I forgot about that. I'm not ready to build any more Tyranids at the moment because we're these guys. But probably do some Tyranids later down the road. I don't think I need to go and do another 2,000 points of Tyranids just yet. Fingers crossed that you get them. All your stuff, so you got everything relatively matching. And now I gotta grab all those premium boxes. We had Chaos, Orcs, Tyranids, and what was the other one? It's another weird boy. I already got like 2 weird boys. Shoot.
or not. So many mobs. Little tiny one. Oh, it's a Big Mac? Alright. That's what I'm talking about. I need an orc Big Mac. That's better. Much better. If it was a weird boy, I'd be like, I don't need another one of those. I already got 2 weird boys in that new list. Got 2 weird boys. Pain Boy. And I think I got an orc mech of some kind, but it'd be cool to have another one. That'll work much better. I'll go track my boxes down. What was the 4th box? Or the 5th box? 4th box. So we had, did it come with 3 premium boxes or 4 premium? The other one like Tau or something? We had Nids, Orcs. We had Tyranids, Orcs, Chaos Space Marines, and then what was the 4th one? Was it Tau? I don't remember it. Not much of a Tau. Eventually, I'd like to have a Tau. I just want all robots. Yeah, it was Tau. That's the reason why I'm like, it's Tau. Probably some fight. Colonels. Almost practically done, which is good. That means I got this model done in 2 streams, which with all the edge highlights on the purple, and then we just got to do the green, which the green's real simple. I'm gonna leave these bases so I can get them recorded and uploaded onto YouTube. In the Norm Emissary, and I'll do this one as well. Actually have some videos, shorts. Good part would be like some shorts with like what paint colors I use, like on the Tyranid, because they have like these spikes and all this other stuff. Those would be like, that's the same color I use for these, kind of deal. And they'll be short, so you'll know what colors I use. I feel like I need to make these things around his head. Have a little something going on with his head, because his head's not really have a lot going on it. Alright, so I had some 3 crisis suits. One HQ that I didn't care to remember. Gotcha. Alright, at least I had some suits in there. Makes me relatively. Alright, now we're just down to just doing the blades, and then we're ready for a wash. Since the blades are so spread out on the model, he's just like, bah. Okay. Now let's get the greens. Gotta get them greens. Green, we're still gonna need a little bit of the black green. That's what the base color on this thing was. We're down to just the greens, guys, and then we can get the wash on there. And then I got the Deathleaper done in 2 sessions. Roughly 8 hours. And that's with streaming. So not bad. So you're looking at like 6 hours in Plus Ultra tabletop ready Plus Ultra model. I need a little bit of bright yellow green for this too. Honestly, not a bad gig. Got this guy done quick. That's awesome. I love it when they go by fast. Norm Emissary took us like 5 streams, but he was a big model. A lot of details. This thing has a lot of details too, but in the majority of things, he was relatively easy. We're gonna take some of the dark green. Here. Some of this dark green here. Take some of the regular green. Together. More green. This gives us kind of like a little brighter than a forest green. Yes. This is kind of the color I'd probably use. Dark Angels. Be mostly. That would be my edge highlight. That would be the base, midtones. Probably a little bit brighter than this green. Edge highlight with this green. Maybe a green, the green with the bright yellow green mix in there for like a lime green. Highlights for Archangel. Relatively close. Somewhere around there. Blade. Flat of the blade. That. Like I said, this will be relatively the part green. Out of the blade. Outs. Keep a nice little dark line. Really deep crevice on these claws, I guess. That one. These ones are a little different because I think maybe these things should have been purple, but Yep, now we're gonna take more of this green and add the bright yellow green to it. We're gonna get kind of this lime green. This color. One of my favorites. And go right across the top of the blade. We're just gonna kind of trim out the closer and closer. We might do the eyes all green. Green on there. A little bit more of the bright yellow green in the mix. I'm gonna get some like kind of like jungle green. And then this one here, we're just gonna kind of Nice green glowy claw things here. What do you tax with? So like pow. Okay. Now let's get the eyeballs done real quick. These are itty bitty eyeballs. I'm gonna drop down to even a smaller brush, down to like a 0. Eyeballs are. He has a massive amount of them. 3 eyeballs. Little squid. Bit of fried ivory. Why not? 3 eyeballs on each side. He has some glowy eyeballs. Alright. Now he's ready for a wash, guys. Here. We are set. It's ready for a wash. We're going to back up the camera just a touch more so I can get the full model in here. Yeah, they need to learn, they need to work on their expansion, but it just depends on where their money's been expended out. Because they just don't know where their money's going into. As they're going into probably being a partial production on movies and all this other stuff that they do. TV shows, that's a lot of exiting out money, especially on Warhammer Plus with all the animations and stuff that they come out with. That's more money expended out. Yeah, but to build one in the States would be like Australia, I love you, but we buy more. Yeah, and I think we're like one of the biggest, like we're big consumers. England's a big consumer. Europe is a partial, pretty big consumer. I don't know what the actual numbers are, but we do consume a lot of GW product here in the United States. It's a huge amount. I know they can't keep up with current demand. I know they've been lacking that. I mean, like honestly, it's like COVID was like the best thing for G-dubs. Like, I don't think they even realized how big they got because everybody was locked down, couldn't do anything. You know, lockdowns really exploded GW factory, GW product. Because so many people were buying, and then now it just got really big now. Mr. Hobby Wash. Oil wash. There's a 2-part deal on this thing. You have to have the solvent to move the wash around. As a factory, so yeah. Blaming the Leviathan box because they didn't sell enough of the Leviathan box. There's too many Leviathan boxes floating there. Is that the reason that they're coming up with? Is that they're just not selling enough of the Leviathans? Like it didn't do a full sellout like the Indominus did? I'm taking a makeup sponge and just kind of wiping off excess very lightly because there's a lot of little tentacles and things like that. Careful when you're wiping. I got a little too big there. I'm gonna take these little cut up little triangle ones. With a pair of tweezers so then I can kind of reach the inside of these things. There we go. That's all washed and looking pretty. And look at that. That is one good looking bug right there. And we did that in 2 parts, so we got that one done. Yeah, if there's an overabundance and then you can buy them for $50 a box, yeah, I wouldn't be. I would gleam at that as well. All right, guys, that's excellent. Now, when you're doing the oil wash, it takes about 15-20 minutes for this to dry. So I'm just gonna leave it sit as it is. Looks really good, and I think I'll do videos on the base. And then also the Norm Emissaries base. We'll work on like kind of both of those. I'll film those up and cut and edit and stuff because there's things that are on both of these things that can be helpful, like colorations, how I did the purples, how I did the fleshiness on there, and then how we're gonna do all the metallics. Internal parts here, we'll do the beige colors so I can show what colors I was using on them. Real fast, easy shorts. But other than that, you're good to go. And close up shop. Then I'm gonna eat some lunch because I need to eat some of that. I didn't even have breakfast. Shame on me. Didn't have enough time. I was really busy building the dreadnoughts. The 3 dreadnoughts are all built. Finally, it took me forever. And then I printed out the gray tide or dark tide, gray tide upgrade bits for the dreadnought, and they go on a little differently than Liber Demonica. So if you get Liber Demonica bits, you're not supposed to have any of the panelings on here or the shoulder pads. Liber Demonica replaces these. And then with the gray tide upgrade bits, you actually have build it together just like what you have stock in the box, and then those pieces go over top of the panels, over top of the shoulder pad, stuff like that. It was really interesting on that one, so I'll work on trying to get those things up and going and getting things done. But yeah, so I got those done, so I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna close up shop here, close everything out. I really do. Oh yeah, it's nums all right. And then it was cool because even the gray tide, now I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, it looks like they're doing like all the supplement chapters outside the actual codex, the Space Marine Codex with gray tide. So They already did Black Templars, Dark Angels, and then their newest one was the Space Wolves from Great Tide. So I'm hoping that their fourth installment will be Blood Angels, and then I'll have Blood Angels upgrade bits. So then I'll have the 3 Dreadnoughts. One will be Black Templar, one will be Dark Angels, and one will be Blood Angels. And then of course I already have the Space Wolf one, but that was for that's from Liber Demonica, a completely different company. But it'd be kind of cool to see if that 4th upgrade installment that they'll have will be Blood Angels. It'll be really awesome. But yeah, so next up on the YouTube Live, let's talk about that. So YouTube Live on next Sunday, we're going to be working on the Winged Primed Tyrants. Winged Primed Tyrants. And the thing is that in my list, I have 2 of them. Because they're going to be attached to the Termagants. So they're going to be kind of leading the 2 groups of 20 Termagants. That gives them like +1 on their hits, I think. Something of that sort. So that's the reason why these things are going to be attached to them. So we're actually going to do an assembly line of 2. So we're going to do 2 on YouTube of doing an assembly line of 2. And then we'll get into the other ones later down the road. But that's what we're planning on doing for next Sunday, is the Wing Primes. I'm hoping to get those done in at least 2 streams. It might take 3 because I'm doing 2 of them at a time, but I don't want to do one and then go back to the beginning and do the other one. And they're small enough where I could probably hammer them out at the same time. We did this thing in two videos, so we should be able to do those ones in 2 videos as well. And that would be cool. No, I haven't even started on the Blood Angels army at all. I have a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I got all the Sanguinary Guard built, and I just need a day to paint all those Sanguinary Guard. It'd be nice to have them all done, so just in case we do get possibly new Sanguinary Guard models, I'd like to actually try to sell the old Sanguinary Guard models, because I know they'll be hard to kind of get rid of after the new ones come in, and sell the old ones to fund the new ones, if that makes sense. But no, I have not started on the Blood Angels, but I have all the Space Marines like built. Like, all my Space Marines are built except for 2 Leviathan boxes halves. I have not built those, but all the rest of all my Battle Force boxes of Space Marines are all built. No more Primaris Marines. I'm not building any more of those because I got too many of them as it is that are already built. I think a lot of those will be used for like YouTube of painting different kind of chapters or whatnot. And I'm working on building orcs right now, and they've been kind of a nightmare for me. They've been kind of tough. So, but the Tyranids have been fun. Been enjoying painting these on YouTube Live. But yeah, we're gonna close up shop, and I'm gonna go enjoy a little bit of lunch, and then I'm gonna come back, and I'm actually gonna start doing the recordings for this. I've been talking about this for weeks. Need to do the RW opening and assembling of the World Eater model. That will probably utilize that one as well for the price wheel spin-off for my Twitch. But other than that, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me on the last stream of the year. And then we start off brand new tomorrow over on Twitch, !Twitch. Come and join me on that one. We're going to be painting the bust from Arnold W. That's going to be a really cool thing there, because we had this cool thing over on Twitch called Hype Trains, and the Hype Train went so high that I wanted to do something special, so I wanted to do the bust for January giveaway, as well as the prize wheel spin-off giveaway things that I have going on through Twitch. Here on YouTube, I'm trying to reach that partnership, so if you guys would subscribe to my channel, like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and help me get to 1,000 subscribers so I can try to work a partnership up with YouTube, and then we can start getting some more fun things happening, because it'll unlocks things for me that I can utilize on YouTube Live, but I'm restricted. I can't do anything much more on YouTube Live until I get a partnership with them, and then it unlocks things where I can actually do things like I do on Twitch for my affiliate with Twitch. And if I get the partnership with YouTube, then it unlocks these things where I can utilize for doing special events and special things through YouTube Live. But I can't do that until I get to 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours watched. Just being honest here. So if you guys don't mind, I really do appreciate the help and support. So if you guys can subscribe to this channel, like the channel, and watch all the other things that I'll be doing on there. If you guys want to keep on with our awesome community, Discord, that has everything from all my sponsors and affiliates above. There'll be a sponsor affiliate link in my Discord, and you can utilize all the affiliate links and the discount codes that are all on there. I also have the Wicked Shop if you guys are interested in cool Wicked Mini dice that have the Wicked Mini logos. I still have those in 10, 20s, or 30s. I still got about 280 dice left to go, and then we'll do a vote on what next color that we'll be utilizing. Other than that, and then also have the Imperial Knights for the Blood Angels up there too. If you guys are interested, just send me a message and let me know what you want. Hit me up on my socials, !socials. So I got !Twitch, !socials, and !Discord as well. And yeah, that's it. And other than that, I had a great time painting this. I'm gonna change the editing on the title and go part 2, or do the Deathleaper final paint part 2, and that'll be it. And then we'll go over to the Wing Primes next Sunday. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow over on Twitch. Till then, take care. Have an awesome New Year's. Please be safe, and I will see you guys on New Year's. Probably all hungover on New Year's, right? Other than that, thank you guys. Take care.